Hello everyone. Uh, Welcome to week 3 of English presentation, and this week the topic is about the body. Now for week 3, these are the outlines of what we're going to do in week 3. Okay, in class when we meet each other, it's going to be about the homework presentation of your own topic of the my favorite fruit. So for this one, you won't have to be in front of the room and present to the whole class. You're just going to present to your friends in the groups. Okay. So I hope you've done your homework, because this is the main thing we're going to talk about in class too. But for this video, the lecture part, I'm going to talk about the outline, which is the purpose and basic structure of the body. Also how to choose the 3 main points. And after that, in class, we're going to do the brainstorm techniques, okay, and the practice. And I also talked about a visual message assignment, which will be in week 5, okay, not next week, the week after the next. And then homework, of course. So let's begin. Now, for the homework, practice introduction. Hope you guys did it. To do about my favorite fruit. So when you practice this in class with your friend, make sure that you use your notes and outline only. Don't write the whole script like I told you before, okay? So don't read the whole thing from a piece of paper. Just like when you gossip to your friend, okay? Use your just notes or outline is enough. And then take your time. Don't speak too quickly. There's no need. You don't have to show that you're good in English by speaking fast. Just speak clear and slowly enough for your friends to understand, okay? And think about your pronunciation. Make sure you say, don't say it like, oh, hello, my friend did eat my presentation. Okay, so make sure like you use the correct pronunciation. Okay, don't worry about the accent. Thai accent is fine as long as you make say the consonant sound clearly. Okay, so I know you are talking about friend or friend, so I can differentiate that. Yeah. So like I said, relax and breathe. And then lastly, it's just about, this is just short practice introduction, okay? It's just 1 to 2 minutes maximum. So be concise. Don't what you call like do the real gossip. That's going to take a lot of time, okay? Just 1 to 2 minutes. Now I'm going to show you the example, okay, of when you have to prepare for this, my favorite fruit. So you should always start from greeting, right? Then to the topic. Tell them the objective, the structure, the length, and of course the rules for questions. So I might do this when you are in group. You can say things like this. Hey everyone, my name is Ajahn Song, okay? And today I'm going to share about my favorite food, which is the amazing pineapple. That's the title, okay? And the objectives, I want to talk about pineapples because pineapples, which are called Earth's candy, are the main fruits that boost Chiang Rai economy, okay? And there are 3 things I want to talk about the amazing pineapple. The pineapple basics and background, types of pineapple and where they grow, and lastly, pineapple economics. And all of this are going to take only a few moments. And if you have any questions, please hold it and ask me after the presentation. And then we all know that to live in Chiang Rai, and when you drive past before you reach the university, you find lots of pineapple sellers, right? That's because Chiang Rai is home of pineapples, especially the species called Pule, สับปะรดนางแล สับปะรด Pule, okay? And if you like pineapples, we also call it the world's biggest berry. That's an interesting fact, right? So let's get into the background basics about this fantastic fruit. And then that's it. That's the end of introduction, okay? But this here, they say the final transition because it's the pause between the introduction and the body. You need to signal to the audience that, okay, I'm done with my introduction and I'm going to talk about the real thing now, the grit of it, the core presentation, which is, okay, the background basics about this fascinating fruit, which is the main point, okay? So follow this structure and you'll be fine. Now, after you've done this practice with your friend in the groups, okay? Think about how did you feel when you did the introductions, okay? Was it difficult? Why were you nervous? Okay, this is in front of your classmates, okay? You might feel nervous, but what about in your own groups? You might feel more comfortable now, right? Because you are seeing them like for the second or third time. So it should help like talking to your friend. And also notice if you make any mistakes and what do you want to improve. That's still the key things that after every practice, try to be aware of how you present, okay? Now, let's get to the point, the outline. What does it mean, the outline? The outline is actually like the organization that you made, kind of like a cue card for yourself to remind yourself like which is the first topic you're going to say and then what's the second, the third, and how you're going to end the presentation. So when you organize the notes for your introduction, notice was it easy to follow or not? A good outline should be the one that is it's easy to follow, that people can, okay, you're talking about the first thing, then the second thing, the third thing, and it makes sense. They don't have troubles following that. Don't do it like in Tenet, okay, in Christopher Nolan's movie. Don't do like what do you call like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk about types of pineapples. Oh, but before we do that, let's go back to the name of the pineapple first, or where it came from. Then the audience will be confused, okay, of like what are you going to do, like going straight to the point or reversing back to the history first and then go back. That's going to be too confusing, okay? Make sure it's easy to follow. And this is the key thing. Some people, they might think, oh, presentation is so easy, and then just come to the class and then do the presentation. But an outline is a useful tool, okay? So notice if anyone use an outline or not, or they just talk without any outlines. Now, I recommend outline because it's useful. Why? Because it helps to organize ideas and information. Because sometimes when you are talking about like your favorite movie and you're really into it, oh, Christopher Nolan's movie, like I really love in section, and you just talk whatever comes to your mind, I can guarantee that your friends are going to lose interest in just like 1 or 2 minutes because if you have heard this word before, it's all over the place. Okay, you just talk this bit and then that bit. But if you make an outline, you can actually persuade your friend to watch Christopher Nolan's movie, even if it's hard to understand and confusing at times. But because of 1, 2, 3, maybe you'll find it interesting. Okay, see, that is already like what you call an outline already makes people pay attention to what you're going to say first, second, and third, right? Like there's an order for them to follow, okay? So organizing is good. Also, focus on big ideas, points, and evidence. If you don't have an outline to focus something on, like I said, sometimes when you do a presentation and you just recite your script, you might forget some line, and then if you don't have like an outline at hand, then you're going to be confused, and then maybe you skip to the third one, like third topics instead of the second one, and it's going to get confused, okay? The third one is make sure your outline is concise. Concise means short but understandable, okay? Not watery, straight to the point, okay? Concise, clear, of course, and easy to follow, like I said. That's a good outline. And lastly, only use short phrases and keywords. That's like the trick thing, like the tips for this. Because if you write an outline but in a form of script instead, as you are an actor and trying to practice like your role, like your lines, that's going to be too long. Okay, sometimes when your eyes look at the whole sentence, of course, it's going to take a really long time to read one sentence. But if you just write like 2 words, your eyes only last on the page for a few seconds, and then your eyes will come back to the audience, and so you don't have to like just read from your paper. It's better for their eye contact with the audience. It's a good audience engagement. Okay, if you use short phrase and keys in your notes and talk like the whole sentence, make it a complete sentence as you speak. Okay, it's easier and more convenient that way. Trust me. Now, with the outline, these are the outlines for the introduction part. But what I'm trying to say is you can also use outline for any part of the presentation, not only the body, not only the introduction, but also the body and the conclusion. Okay, so introduction outline, we have the format, the format, the things that you see when I ask for an outline that you have to submit is kind of like things that you plan to say in order. Okay, so the outline introduction will be greetings. Hello everyone, like I said, greetings, topic. Today I'm going to talk about pineapples in Chiang Rai. Objective. I want you to know like the history of pineapples so you can appreciate these wonderful fruits. Okay. Also structure. I'm going to both 3 things about pineapples, right? The basics, the history, and where to find them, maybe. And the length, I'm going to talk just about 1 to 2 minutes. Rules of question you can ask later. And then opening sentence, right, could be, do you know that Chiang Rai exported lots of, like maybe a huge number, okay? A huge number of pineapples per year. That's it. That's the example, okay? Now, outline are very useful for the body also. So not just the introduction. When you're going to do the body out, you really need an outline for the body because you have to arrange points in a specific order, especially if you're doing presentation that's talking about cause and effect. You can't just come up with the effect and then go back to the cause, or sometimes it won't make sense. It will feel like more like flashback in the movie that people are going to be confused if it doesn't follow the timeline, for example. Okay, so arrange points in a specific order and make evidence and support information easy to see. So it's not just using examples to support your points. You need outlines to show them, okay, if I want to talk about the usefulness of pineapples to your body, I can't just say it and hope that my friends will believe it. I have to use evidence or find some support claims that really shows the benefit of pineapples. It's good for your digestion. How? Maybe you have to find scientific research or find like some scientific experiments that really shows this advantage of pineapple. Okay. These are the examples of body outline. Okay. If let's say we want to do the structure of like 3 main points, okay, so if you have 3 main points, you have to list it like this. Main point number 1 could be like main point number 1 with evidence and support to that main point, and then main point number 2 with evidence and support, and lastly main point number 3 with evidence and support. So when you practice doing the outline of the body in class, I want you to follow this form, okay? This outline. Now, if it's like my own presentation and the topic, like if my title is Pineapple Paradise, This is how I will do my own outline, okay? These are the examples. Now, when I think of pineapple paradise, I want to talk about three things, right? I want to talk about the pineapple's basics and background. I want to talk about the types of pineapples and where they grow, and the pineapple economics. So the evidence and support of each main point, you see, I have to use the thing that that will support my main point, right? So if I want to talk about basics and background, of course, I have to think of the name first. Why is it called pineapples? Because when you talk about apples, you think of like the fruit apple, right? The red apples. But if you talk about pine, you think of a pine tree. You think about pine cone, okay? So why does these two things comes together? Why do we call this fruit this green, and when you cut it down, it's yellow inside? That's what we call pineapple. I want to talk about where the name comes from, okay? And it's related to pine cone, see? And I also want to talk about the origin. Where does it really come from? Oh, it came from South America. That's the background, the history of it, okay? And also, last thing, to know the basics about pineapple, you need to describe the appearance and how pineapple grows, okay? So it grows by planting the stem, and then you can, when you cut the stems, right, you can put it in the soil, and then it grows into a new pineapple. See, that's the basic and background. So I want to group that together. But for main point 2, I want to talk about types of pineapple, right? So this also talks about where they grow pineapples. South America, it's true, I can put it here. But if I want to talk about the history, the origin, not the current, not where it produced now, but where it used to be produced massively, like in the past. If I want to talk about the past, then I have to put this topic, okay, origin South America, in the first one because it's the background. But if we want to talk about present day, okay, current situation, about the types and places where they grow pineapples, then I can put here my research. I found that most pineapples are grown in South America and Southeast Asia, of course, and the number one export of pineapple is Costa Rica, actually, not Thailand, okay? Now, and with the main support, the next main support is, I want to talk about types, right? So I have to say, oh, okay, there are 3 main varieties: smooth Cayenne, Abacaxi, Queen, and red Spanish. And the last one, pineapple economics. So I'm going to get into numbers now. If I want to talk about pineapple paradise and why pineapple is like major products in Thailand, of course I have to talk about numbers. That 25.4 million tons a year are exported, okay? Like people consume a lot of pineapples per year if you look at this number, right? And the highest price you can get from a pineapple is €9 per fruit, which means like per one pineapple is €9. So multiply 9 with, I think right now is it's maybe like 40 something baht, right? So that's a lot of money for one pineapple, okay? Now, and the second support would be like third most, that pineapples are actually the third most important fruit. And you might think, what's more important than pineapples? Well, it's banana and citrus. Citrus here means it includes lemons and oranges, okay? So it's like the whole family of oranges and lemons, okay? And the last one, I want to talk about the medicinal benefits, okay? Because with the economics, like why is pineapple useful to grow and it can help you make money? Well, because there are lots of benefits from pineapples. There are thiamine, manganese, and vitamin C.